Sales is the most lucrative skill in the world, period. The problem is most sales advice out there today is outdated, cheesy, and could even keep you from the deals that can make all the difference in your career. This is the No BS Sales School, a podcast for entrepreneurs and salespeople who want to master the skill of selling without all the BS. Welcome to the No BS Sales School podcast. I'm your host, Walker McKay. Today, I want to share some exciting news for me. I finished a project I've been working on for 3 years. I started right at the end of COVID. I finally finished writing a book called Some Will, Some Won't, So What, Who's Next, which is one of my favorite sayings about sales and a lot of other things. And I wrote this book because first of all, because I think nobody thought I could write a book. I think there were lots of people that would say, hell no, there's no way in the world you could sit down and write a book. And the reality was I had help. I had my great friend, Logan Ward, who lives in Chapel Hill. He's an editor, and he and I spent a lot of time together over the last 3 years trying to organize the material and add stories and make this stuff relative and relevant to a lot of different people, a lot of my audiences. So I appreciate you very much. And this is you as my listener. And if you want to know more about what the heck we do around the No BS Sales School, this might give you a good clue. You can buy it on Amazon, like I said, or you can buy it in Columbia, South Carolina. You can buy it at a local bookstore called All Good Books at 734 Hardin Street. Got plenty of copies there. I would love it if you buy the book and you read it and you enjoy it. Leave me a review on Amazon. That really helps. Amazon will rise it and it'll give it higher visibility the more reviews it has, especially if I can get 30 plus reviews in the first month. So we got about a week or 10 days to go. You can get the book in about 2 days. Anyway, if you want to read it, I'd love to have you do that. People ask me, why in the world did you write this book, Walker? What was it that made you go through this process? And, you know, it's kind of a hard question to answer. Like I say, I think I did it because a lot of people said I couldn't. I think I did it because I didn't think I could. And you know what's interesting about me? Most of my leaps and growth happened when I catch myself or somebody else catches me making an excuse. And I think this time about 3 years ago, somebody said, why don't you write a book? And I said, you know, there are enough sales books out there. What in the world does the world need another sales book for? Once again, as soon as I said that, I said, shit, that's an excuse. I said, it doesn't. I said, what matters, right, is that I've got this idea. I've got this idea about what sales could be, about how we can approach it differently and how we wouldn't act cheesy or pushy or sleazy. And we could actually be effective and efficient at building healthy business relationships and not just friendships, that there was a path to follow to make that happen. And that was something it's really important for me to get that message out. And I want people to know that there's a better way. And, you know, there are lots of people that maybe they're not going to ever pay me to train them. Obviously, 99.9 to the infinity in the world would never do that. And there's some that will, which is great. And I'm very grateful to them. But if there's a way I can get this message to another, 1/10000000th of 1% of a better way to approach selling, to approach sales, to approach the way you deal with other people, the way you communicate with other people, I thought, you know what? That's worth it. That's putting something good out into the world. Sometimes people have asked me what surprised me the most about writing a book, and it's how many people it takes to write a damn book. I mean, I had the ideas, I wrote them down, but my editor, Logan Ward, I had to lean on him a lot. He was like, less over here, more over here. Can we take some of the F-bombs out? Which of course, okay. Can we do this? Can we do that? Not all the F-bombs are gone, by the way. But he was really, he challenged me to be better, to write better. And then he would come in and add his touches to it. He would smooth it out, make it more readable. The other people, my family, oh my gosh, Sally, my wife, tremendously supportive and helpful as I would sneak off to go write. And she would read drafts again and make suggestions in her way. It was great. And my children having to put up with dad, my son, Mitchell, asshole that he is, 18 years old. He said, Dad, the only thing douchier than saying you have a podcast is saying you have a podcast and you're writing a book. And I'm like, thanks, asshole. And I said, but there is something that's douchier than that, Mitchell. He said, what's that, Dad? And I said, being the son of somebody who has a podcast and is writing a book. But anyway, now I'm no longer writing a book. I have written a book. I have published a book, and I'm getting great feedback on it, which is great. There've been a bunch of reviews posted on Amazon, which is what I'd love for you to do if you read the book, is write a review on Amazon. Let other people know. It's fun to see something that started with just a bunch of jumbled ideas in my ADHD head come to fruition in 228 pages, right here in this thing. So anyway, big milestone for me to get that done. I hope that if you're so compelled, you'll buy a copy on Amazon or at All Good Books in 5 Points in Columbia. Let me know what you learn. Let me know what you think about it. I really do want to know, good or bad. What's something you take away from this that would make your spending $20 and a couple hours reading? What did you get from it? What was the thing that made it worth your while that you could say, I'm really glad I did that because here's what I picked up. If you share that stuff with me, that's tremendously helpful as well. You're also willing to send me a note and say, that sucked. I can't believe you wasted my time. And if you feel that way, I'll be happy to mail you your $20 back. It's not a problem. I'm happy to do that because I don't want to waste your time. And I sure don't want you to waste your money. I'm Walker McKay with No BS Sales School. Go buy the book. Go read the book. Leave a review on Amazon. When you finish reading it, give it to somebody else that needs to see it. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you. Hope you'll have a very wonderful Thanksgiving. Thanks for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast. If you're struggling to close deals, then I want to invite you to take my free mini course, where you'll learn the 7 most expensive sales mistakes that will cost you time, money, and credibility. So be sure to click the link in the show notes or go to www.7salesmistakes.com. That's the number 7salesmistakes.com. Thanks again for listening to the No BS Sales School podcast.